I am now about to tell the story of Romeo Depatie, a brave young man who entered the military service in Massachusetts and served in the U.S. Army during World War I. He was part of the 102nd Infantry Regiment in the 26th Division, also known as the Yankee Division. Born on July 5, 1895, in Montreal, Canada, Romeo grew up alongside his 3 sisters and 1 brother. When he turned 12, his family made a life-changing decision and moved to Lawerance, Massachusetts, seeking new opportunities and a brighter future, and settled at 277 Salem Street. Since Romeo spoke French, he attended a French-speaking school where he could more easily learn. This was most likely the Sacred Heart School. During his time in Lawerance, Romeo made several trips back to Montreal, maintaining a deep connection with his Canadian roots. As he transitioned into adulthood, Romeo found employment at the Washington Mills, situated along the Merrimack River in Lawerance. He worked as a diligent textile worker, responsible for inspecting the clothes that were produced in the factory. In February of 1918, fueled by his eagerness to serve in the war, Romeo enlisted in the American Expeditionary Force to help protect the world from the Germans. There were 6,000 people from Lawerance that participated in World War I. His dedication led him to volunteer for training at Camp Devens, even before his scheduled deployment. At Camp Devens, which was a training ground for over 100,000 soldiers during World War I, Romeo was prepared for his upcoming duties. After completing his training at Camp Devens, he continued his preparations at Camp Upton, Camp Merritt, and Fort Slocum. Camp Upton trained 40,000 soldiers, Camp Merritt trained over 500,000 soldiers, and Fort Slocum trained more than 100,000 soldiers. When his training was complete and Romeo was mentally and physically ready for the war, Romeo embarked on the USS Mount Vernon, which made 9 successful trips to France. Upon his arrival, Romeo found himself immediately involved in the battles that raged across the French countryside, most likely including the intense Battle of Seicheprey. Throughout his time in the war, Romeo cherished the exchange of letters with his loved ones. In one of his earliest letters, he proudly proclaimed that he had already been sent to the trenches 3 times without sustaining any injuries. However, he would often express his disappointment at not receiving many letters in return. On his birthday, July 5th, Romeo wrote his final letter home. He mentioned that the weather was pleasant and bid a heartfelt farewell to his family, writing, "Goodbye and good luck to all, and do not forget to give my best love to all. Goodbye, father, and goodbye, sisters and brothers." It was a bittersweet farewell from a loving son and brother, even though Romeo Depatie did not know he was gonna die weeks later. Tragically, Romeo was soon thrust into the Aisne-Marne offensive, the last major German offensive of World War I on the Western Front, aimed at desperately capturing Paris. During the relentless and chaotic fighting that ensued, Romeo Depatie sustained severe injuries in the line of duty, along with 12,000 other brave American soldiers. The Allies ultimately emerged victorious in this battle, but Romeo's wounds were fatal. He eventually passed away on July 26, 1918. The news of Romeo's death eventually reached his father, Edmund Depatie, who received the heartbreaking announcement. The Lawerance Telegram later published the news of Romeo's death on August 13th, 1918, which was sad news to all that loved him. Romeo Depatie found his final resting place in the Aisne-Marne American Cemetery in Bellu, France, in Plot B, Row 5, Grave 46, leaving his remains in the place where he courageously served his country. This cemetery held over 2,000 American soldiers that died in this war. In honor of Romeo's sacrifice, a square in Lawerance was dedicated to his honor. Located at the corner of Sanborn and Everett Street, this square stands as a testament to his bravery and serves as a reminder to the profound impact he made during his short but impactful life. Romeo was one of the 35 Lawerance veterans that received the honor of getting a place named after him, such as a bridge, a building, or a square. Thank you for listening to the story of the courageous and brave man, Romeo Depatie.